Good morning, I'm Ian from Oak and Chain. Doing another video for my YouTube channel a little quicker than I had sort of anticipated. Why? Because I forgot I'm on holidays this week. One of the beautiful things about living in Europe is, unlike, for example, I worked 10 years as an electrician in Vancouver, Canada, and got maximum 10 days paid vacation a year. Here I get like 23. So sometimes you have to kind of book them around your spouse and whatnot just to kind of fill in the gaps because you have to use it all up every year. So I forgot I got a week off, all right. So what I want to talk about today, which is decidedly not in the spiritual realm, but more, I hope, somewhat useful to other online sellers and artists and whatnot, is this concept of shadow banning. My experience with shadow banning is such. A while ago, I think it was about 3-4 months ago, I noticed that I was getting consistently with my Instagram. Instagram, just want to quickly interject here and mention, is the only social media outlet I use because I don't do this full time. Oak and Chain, I mean. I work full time as an electrician. So I don't have time to maintain 5-6 different social media channels. It's just too much every day. So I chose Instagram. So going back to my story. I noticed I was getting consistently, X number of likes. I think I was getting, a solid 20, 30 likes per post. I noticed I was getting, a couple new followers a day. And then one day I went to go check, because I'm on Instagram essentially every day, is all of a sudden, boof, nothing. I made a post and there was no likes all day long, like a couple from existing followers, so on and so forth. This went on for about 2-3 days and it really occurred to me, like, something's just wrong here. This doesn't make any sense. And it was a bit frustrating because I still feel most of my sellers come through Etsy directly, but I think the Instagram stuff doesn't hurt. So anyway, I went online, did a bunch of researching, Googling why is my Instagram not getting likes, so on and so forth. And this shadow banning thing came up. Now, as near as I can figure, and I want to mention I'm not super duper internet savvy, so I might be talking out of my ass here a little bit and maybe y'all know more than I do, but I have noticed that other people I follow who promote themselves on Instagram have also had this issue at some point or another where they've noticed their likes have gone down, their followers have gone down, so on and so forth. So all I can do is share with you what I found. It might be like way out there, it might be totally inaccurate, but I did a bit of looking around and what I found out was essentially this. First of all, Instagram, as far as I've been able to find out, does not acknowledge the existence of this shadow banning thing. They've never officially come up that I've read. I want to just disclaim all this stuff. I don't want to disclaim every single statement I make. Let's just disclaim this. I have done my own research. This is what I found. I may have missed something. I don't know. So that's out of the way. Instagram that I've seen does not acknowledge officially the existence of shadow banning. Point one. However, there are a number of websites on there that say they can claim to help you find out if you are shadow banned or not. Something along the lines of having someone go and from their account log in and search to see if they can find you, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. What I believe shadow banning to be is this. I think Instagram is full aware that it exists. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. But I think it's definitely part of their algorithm in order to prevent spam and so on and so forth. FYI, it doesn't fucking work. Thanks, Instagram, but whatever. So I think they've written their code that actually runs the application in such a way that if you post too many hashtags all the time on every single post, and or you use the same hashtags repeatedly. So for example, I might use on every single post or a lot of posts, witchcraft, esoteric, pagan, and so on and so forth. If you use these hashtags, use them far too often, and in general every post you use way too hashtags, I believe the algorithm is written in such a way that it decides that's essentially like spam or overuse of hashtags, and it says nope. Then when you become shadow tagged, what happens? Well, as near as I can figure, you don't become deleted, you don't become invisible totally to the entire world. I believe what happens is you are still visible to your followers. People who follow you can still see your posts. However, new users who have not yet followed you, who are looking through the general feed based on their likes and what they post as hashtags and so on and so forth, you will be invisible to them, to people who don't already follow you. So that kind of sucks because if you've got, like, say for example, like myself, a little over 1,000 followers, of which you've got what I would call if I'm lucky, 20 active followers that regularly like my posts and so on and so forth, you've kind of, I don't know, what's the expression I'm looking for? I don't know. That ship has kind of sailed. Like, you've gotten that group of people, of the people that have followed you, follow for follow, or just blindly following people and paying attention. You can tell by your likes who's really kind of paying attention to what you're doing. If you're trying to sell something and they haven't bought anything, it's kind of a dead horse. There's not much you can do about it. So it's really important, it's really critical to reach potential new supporters and whatnot. And when you are shadow blocked, you are essentially blind to them. So the question then becomes, what is the solution to shadow blocking? I read a bunch of different websites about it because obviously I was really interested to get that gone as soon as possible. And one of the suggestions, and this is, take it as it is at face value, I don't know if any of this works or not, but one of them is if you feel there is a suspect post, one where you tag too many people or there's too many hashtags, most likely your most recent post before this happened, delete that post. I did that. If it helped or not, I couldn't honestly say. The other thing is, it says the different websites I read about how to address this issue of shadow banning, essentially there's not really a whole lot you can do. For example, contacting Instagram. Yeah, no, they don't give a shit. Okay, let's just be honest here. They don't give a crap about you. So just don't even waste your time. I know it's fun to vent and stuff, but probably no one's going to see it. Don't waste your time. The main thing is, I think the only thing you can do is essentially wait it out. It did recommend that you post not nearly as much, if at all. Some websites I said don't post for like 2-3 weeks until it's gone. That wasn't really my most desirable option. I still kept posting with very few hashtags, and really kept it down to a minimum, just so no one would, it's this ego thing, I guess. I didn't want people to think I dropped off the earth, like, gives a shit, but whatever. So I don't think totally disappearing from Instagram is necessarily the solution, but definitely post less. Really keep your hashtags down to a minimum. Really try and be conscientious of not repeatedly using the same, hashtags over and over and over again. I think that's really important. And eventually it did go away. Most of the websites I said, expect to have this issue for about 3-4 weeks. I didn't actually keep track on the calendar there, but I'm fairly sure it was about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5, and things kind of went back to normal. So the other thing is that everything I read said that it's a common misconception that if you are, for example, like an Etsy seller, or you have an online shop and you're promoting through Instagram, that it's because you don't have a business account. And actually, everything I read, and I don't really understand this, said that if you have a business account, it's actually worse. So I don't really understand why it is, but there apparently were a bunch of other issues that everything I read recommended do not get a business account with Instagram. Okay, I don't have one, so I don't really care. I don't really know this difference. So shadow banning, it sucks. It should not be. It's really annoying for those of us who rely on this avenue of social media to promote ourselves, that it doesn't fucking work. And especially if you're not deliberately out spamming people and posting 15 things a day and whatnot. Like, if you're following the rules essentially, and then this happens to you, it's clearly super annoying, but I guess there's not a whole lot we can do about it. I think I was ready to just tear someone's fucking head off. I was so pissed off about it, just on principle alone. But at the end of the day, just remember, we're not paying for it. It's free. What do you want? You know what I mean? It's one of these things, it's just life. You get what you pay for. I even went so far, actually, just one last point, to kind of look and see, like, what is the new Instagram? Like, if I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket, what should it be? And it did really keep coming up kind of Instagram. And the reason is, with the different social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so on and so forth, they did kind of recommend, one of the things that kept coming up was Instagram is actually making some gains in terms of social media. But very important tip, they said, and this is all you kids out there who are with your phones and who are kind of a lot more internet savvy than me, probably already know this, but I found it very interesting that they said Instagram is definitely making some gains in terms of popularity, but on the basis of stories. And it was very clear that if you want to really see results on Instagram, you need to become proficient with the use of stories, which is something I've started doing and I'm trying to do. And it's kind of funny. I don't know what the actual visibility works out to, I mean like kind of strictly advertising and marketing type sense. I don't know what the value actually is, but it is kind of interesting to me that if I do a post in my feed, if I'm lucky, I'm getting 20 plus likes. But if I post something in stories, I'm getting seen sometimes, like not like on, it's not irregular at the end of the day, because it's just it's up for 24 hours. At the end of a 24-hour cycle, I'm commonly seeing 400, been seen 400 times, been seen 500 times. Doesn't seem to be super helping. Like, you think that's something pretty incredible visibility, but I don't know. So there it is. Shadow blocking, pretty sure it exists. Not sure if it's on purpose. It happens. And there are ways we can avoid it, and you want to do that if you're using social media to promote yourself. So that's that. Have a great day.